What's up, mi gente? It's your boy Vestige coming at you with another MHA video, and today we're going to be talking about how Bakugo is the missing OFA successor.
Psych! Get off my channel. What's good, mi gente? It's your boy VestigeHero coming at you with another video, except this time it isn't a chapter review. I know that's kind of weird for me to say. Usually we're out here covering whatever's going on in the story, whether it be battles, character development, or times of respite. But a story can occur without a course of action, and that, unfortunately, is controlled by our sly boy, Hori. And you already know how I feel about that. It's not good. I don't like that. But what if he pulled a fast one that affected the villains for the worse, as opposed to giving them a massive advantage or power-up? What if our sly dog pulled a fast one that affected the course of the My Hero Academia story and the My Hero Academia world for the rest of eternity? Welcome to VestigeHero's Hour of Foresight, a series in which we discuss theories and predictions. With that being said, let's get right into it. A while back, I came across a tweet that really caught my attention. Now, unfortunately, I didn't save it, even though I thought I did, but it pointed out something really interesting in the recent chapters about Shigaraki's fight with Star and Stripe, something I had noticed previously, but didn't really pay much attention to. The tweet featured a shot straight out of chapter 333 of Shigaraki stealing New Order, which can be seen on the screen here. However, right next to that image was a picture of Hikage Shinomori. I hope I said that right. He's the fourth user of One for All. Interestingly enough, the tweet said something along the lines of, the lines on Shigaraki's body look like the ones on the fourth user's head. It was then that an idea sparked into my head. I had passed off the lines on Shigaraki's body as an after effect of using Decay and or All for One, since having been powered up before the war in which he went crazy on all the heroes. In truth, they were very similar to the lines of decay that would appear on whatever he touches, whether they be physical or organic beings, but they had never displayed themselves on himself. It's odd for Hori to include this because we've only just recently seen them appear on his body too. When compared to Shinomori's lines, they're eerily similar. For those of you who don't know, Shinomori was a user of One for All, and the original user of Danger Sense who opted not to fight against All for One. Rather, he focused on training himself in order to strengthen One for All, so it would become a stronger quirk for the next user in hopes of taking All for One down. However, he still passed away at 40 years of age. How could this be? All the other users of One for All had died young due to them fighting All for One, but Shinomori never did. The reason for this lies in Shinomori's being a quote-unquote normal person. He, alongside All Might, held One for All for the longest amount of time, 18 years to be exact, and in his own words, "In my final year, the quirk broke my body." And as a result, those two lines appeared on his face during his last year of life. It was then concluded by both Shinomori and Yoichi Shigaraki, the first user and the younger brother of All for One, that One for All could not be held by a normal person. It was a quirk that would continue to grow more powerful due to its power stockpiling nature. This doesn't just include physical strength, it also includes One for All taking in the quirk factors of its previous users as well as their consciousnesses. As such, it would overwhelm and kill anyone with a pre-existing quirk due to its draining a user's life force for power. But quirkless individuals would be spared since One for All would just simply adapt to the powerless bodies and make itself the individual's true quirk, as seen with both All Might and Izuku, who have not passed away from holding on to One for All. If that was really confusing, I don't blame you, so let me put it like this. Think of quirk users as computers and quirks as data. In this scenario, let's imagine that we're building a PC with all of its typical components. A computer has a power supply, fans, graphics cards, motherboard, and most importantly, a hard drive. But when you go to turn it on, it doesn't work. Turns out, there's no data on the hard drive. It's all hardware, but no software. But wait, let's imagine someone loading an operating system onto that PC. It's plugged in via USB, loaded, and then it runs. But let's take this a little further. What if that operating system came with every past version of itself, included in some files behind the scenes? It would probably slow the computer down, right? I wouldn't say it would be too much for the computer to handle, but it still would slow its performance. This resembles One for All. It's a little much, but it's manageable. But not as much as downloading new programs onto that computer, or games or documents, or things that just straight up overwhelm it. This example resembles All for One. It's way too stockpiled with extra power that All for One's body couldn't handle. Thus, he had to transfer his original quirk factor to Shigaraki. In Dr. Kiraki's words,
Over the generations, Quirtians are unwieldy. Though our minds are adaptable and expansive, our hardware can't evolve fast enough to keep up with such power.
In short, what he just said was that the software exceeds the hardware. This is the cornerstone of the quirk singularity theory. A person physically can't handle so many quirks. Only one was meant to exist in a person's body. In fact, Deku even says that at the beginning of his story.
Passing on a quirk or inheriting, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I've never heard anything like that before. Powers are supposed to be unique to each individual. I mean, since the first superpowers, no one's ever been able to just give someone else their power like a present. That's crazy. If this is true, it would cause us to rethink everything we know about quirks to begin with.
This can be seen with Shinomori, Deku, All For One, 9, and Shigaraki. Shinomori dies. Deku gets hurt if he goes past a certain percentage of a One For All that his body can't handle. All For One can't grow more powerful or take on as many quirks due to his body being weakened by All Might, and Shigaraki couldn't even handle decay after its awakening. He was left with broken arms and had to be operated on physically in order to manage using All For One. But despite having been operated on, these lines are still appearing on Shigaraki's body. Horikoshi wouldn't have included Shinomori's backstory for no reason, so maybe this is him alluding to something. What if Shigaraki Tomura's body destroys itself in the final battle due to it being overwhelmed by the power of All For One? If this is the case, then it's already beginning to happen, even if Shigaraki's body is already being or currently perfected. All For One is a quirk with lots of power, but it comes with many limitations, and there's strong evidence for this to be true. First, we have All For One's case. Again, he couldn't take on too many quirks or grow stronger due to All Might wrecking his body. Next, we have 9, who received a copy of the All For One quirk factor after being compatible with it. Yes, since it was a copy, it was a bit weaker, but 9 could still take on some quirks. 9 to be exact, including his own. When attempting to steal One For All from Deku, he fails and states that he couldn't take it because there were no free spaces within his body to do so. Think about it for a second. Deku has a lot of powers inside of him thanks to One For All. 7 to be exact, along with its physical strength boosting power. That's a lot for someone to straight up steal in one go. Furthermore, 9 had a pre-existing condition. Every time he used his quirk, weather manipulation, his cells would be destroyed. His quirk was that strong, and All For One only did more damage. Every time he used it, or any other of its stolen quirks, aka extra software, his body continued to deteriorate. In the final battle with Deku and Bakugo, 9 went all out using all of his quirks to their full potential, and his body couldn't keep up. When he was defeated, 9 looked like a half-dead corpse barely clinging to life. It is my prediction that the same will happen to Shigaraki. We're being hinted at that fact, that his body cannot handle his power despite having been physically modified to bear it. Yes, he can take on way more than All For One ever could, but his body is still being pushed to its literal limits. More quirks means more backlash, and it's only a matter of time until he breaks down. It's highly likely that this will happen, and I can imagine it occurring during the final battle in which Deku is giving it his all to defeat the villain. Shigaraki will be injured by his own power and most likely die right there on the spot, or at least mortally wound himself and slowly pass away, giving the heroes an easy win. But that's just one outcome of how things might turn out at the end of the series. What do you guys think? Will Shigaraki self-implode like he did in his fight against Star and give Deku the dub? Or will our broccoli boy have to put in the work and beat the Demon Lord at 100% of One For All's power and come out on top as the new symbol of peace? Let me know down in the comments below. Or if you have any theories of your own, feel free to share too. As always, now that you finished the video, you're now an official Vestige too. In order to lock it in, feel free to subscribe and join the VestigeHero agency. Thanks again for sticking around, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's go beyond! Plus Ultra! Hold up, I can't finish this video without doing one last thing. Let me prove to you guys why Deku is the better hero when compared to Bakugo. Take that, Reaper! Play that Rage Your Dream!
I got no impression. This thought is made by limitation. Wanting your sensations in this silly generation. had to go to the next sound. Goodbye.